Hello, Nev here, and today on Man Can Cook I have a cracking cookie recipe for you. Now sadly, I can't claim credit for this cracking cookie. Bit too much alliteration? My lovely wife came up with this recipe, and it uses the delicious indigenous Australian nut, the macadamia nut. Now the great thing about macadamia nuts is that they're really high in fat. They're around 3/4 fat, so they're great for a keto diet. So this is my wifey's macadamia cookie recipe. For this recipe you'll need 50 grams of salted macadamia nuts, 250 grams of unsalted macadamia nuts, 300 grams of almond meal, 210 grams of powdered stevia, 60 grams of coconut oil, 2.5 teaspoons of bi-carb soda, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla bean paste. Roughly chop the 50 grams of salted macadamia nuts in a food processor, a blender, or in this case I'm using my Thermomix. So you just want a rough consistency. And then just put these to the side. And then turn the 250 grams of unsalted macadamia nuts into a nut butter. Place the nuts in a blender, food processor, or in this case the Thermomix, and blend it on a high speed until you get a smooth paste. And you'll need to do this in a few stages, so I suggest, I've just done it for about 5 seconds on a high speed, and I'm just going to scrape down the sides and repeat the process. And this is the kind of consistency that you're after. And then to the nut butter I'm going to add all of the other ingredients. And I'm going to mix this together on a reverse speed so that the blades aren't continuing to cut the nuts that are in there. So if you don't have a Thermomix, I suggest doing this step by hand. Now the consistency will be quite crumbly, but as long as you can make it hold together, it's ready to go. And then take about a tablespoon's worth of the mix, roll it into a ball, and then flatten it out onto a baking tray lined with baking paper. Just into a rough cookie shape. And the mix will be quite crumbly, but this is what's going to give the cookie their very short texture. And you can put half a macadamia nut in the center of each one if you like, you don't have to. And this recipe will make about 24 cookies, depending on how big you make them. And then these go into a preheated oven, 175 degrees Celsius, or around 345 degrees Fahrenheit, for 10 to 12 minutes, or until they're starting to brown. Remove the cookies from the oven and allow them to cool on the baking tray completely before eating. Once they've cooled completely, you can store them in an airtight container or enjoy them straight away. Give this one a taste. So good. They have the texture similar to a shortbread. If you enjoyed my video, please click like, and I'd also love you to subscribe. And when you do subscribe, make sure you click on the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.